So, welcome back to the Pompey Scrapbook, the YouTube channel where we explore Pompey memories and relive some famous moments from Pompey's history. How you been doing, Tony?
Been good, yeah. Enjoying the Olympics at the moment, which are on. Bit of a distraction from thinking about the football season coming up.
Yeah, it might be difficult to concentrate today because there's actually some Olympic stuff going on while we film this, but we'll do our best.
Which we will indeed.
So, this is a video that we've been threatening to do since the start, really, and this is the Liverpool episode. So, we've got some very iconic Pompey memories in this one, probably two of the biggest memories that any of us would reflect on, I'd say, in some of the games we're talking about today. So, to start with, we're going to go back to 1980 to kick this video off. What's the date, Tony?
The date is the 28th of October, 1980.
Okay. And how did this day start for you?
This date, well, we could say that we were playing Liverpool, obviously, because that's the the subject of the video, in a League Cup tie at Anfield. The day started at 6 a.m. in the morning, and the phone rang. Um, my dad, I think, answered it. Just find out that it was Michael, my brother, saying he couldn't come. He had one of the four tickets that we had. Couldn't come because his wife had just gone into labour, and we were about to get a new nephew.
So,
So we had four tickets and only three people to go. What happened next?
oh no, what could you do?
So we had myself, my brother Brian, and my dad were the three people that were going. Who could we get for the fourth ticket? Who do you think?
So I,
Some 10-year-old whippersnapper who gets a day off school.
yeah, so I was 10 and I would have just been sat there having breakfast, getting ready to go to school. Mum took a phone call from you, and then I got wind that something was going on, and then she told me I was having the day off to go to Liverpool. So it's better than going to learn maths and English, isn't it? It's got to be.
How did it go down at school?
I honestly don't remember. I think back in those days it didn't really matter. You just phoned up, and these days you get a fine for it, of course.
Yeah,
They'll take
yeah.
someone out of school to go and watch a football match.
Oh,
Um,
you were furthering your education.
yes. So off we went. I remember that day. So this is after. So my first away game was when we got promoted at Northampton. So this is only the second time I'd been to an away game, and I just remember us being on the motorway and it being an absolute sea of Pompey fans making
It,
their way up there.
I think we knew obviously there was going to be a big following, but I think driving up the M6 when you get past Birmingham up to Liverpool, it was just like nothing you'd ever seen before. It was a ridiculous sight, wasn't it? I mean, you had cars, coaches, removal vans with people hanging out the back. Everything was blue and white and heading towards Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that vividly, driving up and driving past a removals van just full of Pompey fans in the back drinking. I mean,
Yeah,
you would never be allowed to do that now, but it was all right then, wasn't it?
and I just remember them almost hanging out the back. It was incredible how they didn't fall out onto the slow lane of the M6. I don't think they were in the fast lane. But yeah, it was an incredible sight.
So, okay, so let's go on to the game then. Pompey at Anfield. Attendance was
Just over 32,000.
32,000, and there's some mystery, isn't there, around how many Pompey fans were actually there?
Yeah, the estimate is somewhere between 13 and 15,000.
And
Uh,
I think probably the higher end of that. It felt like that ground that night was more Pompey than it was Liverpool. It was amazing.
it was an amazing sight, and it's something anybody who was there will never ever forget.
Yeah. Um, so it was ticketed then, I guess,
It was. It was one of the rare games in those days which was all ticket.
because we talked before, haven't we, about a lot of these games you just turned
Yeah.
up, made your £5 or whatever it was, and in you went. But this is your ticket. We've got on the screen here.
That was my ticket, and as you can see, we actually had a seat. We weren't one of the ones behind the goal on the terrace. We actually had a row of block of 4 seats in the Kemlyn Road stand,
Hmm.
which, if you look at it now on the television, is the stand opposite where the TV cameras are,
Okay. Yeah.
and the cop was to our left
Yeah.
as we
So
sat.
it was an amazing spectacle, wasn't it, that night? It was us playing the undisputed best team in the country. They've been winning the league for years, and we'd just come out of Division 4. So little old Pompey went up to there. Here's some pictures. Probably what's a good one to show would be one of these.
Yeah,
So that's what greeted the teams when they came out. And Pompey have done this for a while, haven't they? The ticker tape when we've been,
but, but never to this extent, obviously.
and this was like a snowstorm, wasn't it? It was like
Yeah,
there are various
yeah.
pictures of this, and you just get pictures of people like coppers looking, going, "What on earth is going on?" And you can see here the photographers all jumping on it. It's like, wow, what's this? So yeah, there's a lot of famous pictures of this ticker tape welcome that Pompey got.
And of course, the sad thing about it is that's all we've got in the way of memories. There's no video evidence of it at all, which
No,
is incredible to think now, isn't it?
there must be Pompey fans around that had old cameras at the time, like the old cine cameras. Because I know your brother, my uncle, had one at the time, didn't he? We got lots of home movies.
But,
Someone must have.
but the thing, but the thing is, they were such weighty things, weren't they? They weren't like phone that you take now, were they? They were like quite heavy equipment to carry around.
Yeah. So we've got some. So all we've got is a bit of a slideshow. So we've already had the. This is Pompey probably singing a
Well,
Liverpool.
you can see that's obviously the Pompey fans behind the goal. Peter Mellor in the goal there.
Yeah.
That's the other thing to point out. Oddly enough, Pompey wore white.
That was
It
uncommon,
was,
wasn't it? Those in those days,
it,
you just wore your kit.
it yeah, it was. It was most unusual, and the rumor was that they left the blue kit behind. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
But yeah, these not like these days when you give your second, third kit an airing so you can sell a few. Back then,
Yeah,
we should have just worn blue. Yeah.
I don't think we'd ever worn this white kit before. It was a totally new kit, but
Hmm.
I don't know. If the rumours are true about leaving the blue kit behind, that would be classic Pompey, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
So you got David Gregory there charging in. Oh, he's gone.
yeah, yeah. And
And the other thing to point out is Liverpool these days in the League Cup. These top sides would put out a second string side, but this was full strength Liverpool. I mean, you've got Alan Hansen there. Ray Clements was the goalie.
what other players were in the side for Liverpool that night?
Well, Kenny Dalglish, he scored one of the goals. Graham Souness, he scored a goal. David Johnson, who's England international. Did Jimmy Case play? I think he probably did. Ray Kennedy.
Alan
It was a
Kennedy as well.
Alan Kennedy. Yeah, it was a useful side.
Yeah. So obviously Pompey came out on the wrong end of a 4-1 scoreline, but that didn't really tell the story, did it?
Not really. No, I mean we were obviously outclassed. They were just a far better side than us, but there was a lot of fight, a lot of effort, and we did make it 1-1 at one stage. Unfortunately, that lasted about 2 minutes before it became 2-1. But the third goal didn't arrive until 10 minutes from the end.
So this is as close
So
as
it
we've
was,
got to a action sequence for our goal.
yeah, there it is. And there's as you go from the top, you've got Derek Showers on the left with Alan Kennedy, the Liverpool number 3, just in front of him. And Showers does his best to hassle him, and Kennedy ends up putting it into his own net.
Yeah,
And Mick Tate in the background as well. They're on the bottom picture.
yeah. So last time we were forced to do a slideshow was Northampton, so we'll follow suit and show the match programme that you collected that night.
Yep, 30p. Look at that. What a bargain.
It looks a bit better than the Cobblers one we saw, I have to say.
This is a proper program. Yeah, this is a proper glossy thing as you'd get today.
Yeah, the Cobblers one was like a sheet of A4, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And then I'll finish off then with another view of that reception, and this was the famous quote at the time from manager Bob Paisley. It's the only time Liverpool played away at Anfield, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've often wondered in the 44 years since then what the Liverpool fans that were there what they thought of the day. They probably just turned up thinking, "Oh, third division team.
Yeah.
This will be a stroll. There won't be much going on."
And then turned
And
up
all of a sudden,
like 15,000 Pompey fans there.
yeah,
Yeah,
that must be a bit of a shock.
I don't know of another following, certainly not for a club in the third tier like that. And it's not like it was at Bournemouth. It was Liverpool. It's 200 odd miles away. It was amazing.
On a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And I just remember, well, presumably you went to school the next day. I remember we drove back home during the night, through the night, got the 6 o'clock ferry, roughly, and got home, had a shower, went to work. That was it.
Yeah. Talking of showers, you've
Good link, wasn't it?
segued us nicely onto a Pompey card. So,
Yes.
Derek Showers, you selected Derek Showers. Why did you pick him?
Oh, as we said a few minutes ago, he was instrumental in our goal in forcing Alan Kennedy to slice it into his own net. So why not? Let's give Derek Showers a bit of publicity here. I mean, that Pompey side had other players were better for Pompey, the likes of Joe Laidlaw, Peter Mellor, perhaps. But Derek Showers, yeah, let's give him a mention.
So he was a decent enough striker. As you can see,
he was
45 appearances, 8 goals for Pompey.
We signed him in when we were in Division 4, and that's basically his level, Division 3, Division 4. Not a great goal scorer. He did have one very bad injury. He was at Pompey. He went out and he was out for quite a while. But he was what you'd call a real hard-working striker. A lot of the chasing, harrying, closing defenders down, but never got a great deal of goals. Yeah. Was a full Welsh international, as we see there.
Yeah.
2 international caps.
So, yeah, a decent enough player. This is the lowest rating we've given a player thus far, 73. Don't know if you agree with the 73.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, without being disrespectful, he's probably the lowest ranked player that we've featured on these cards so far.
Yeah, and by definition, we tend to pick out the superstar players, don't we? So, yeah, no disgrace in the 73. He's a decent player.
Certainly not. No.
Okay, so a great, something that, I mean, how long ago was that now? 44 years ago, and we're still talking about that game and we still remember it. So, any Pompey fans that went then will never forget that night. So, a good one to come.
There were two that year. Obviously, that you mentioned the Northampton one, the Liverpool one, all in the same year, and the people who were there they will always remember it. And people who weren't there or are too young to remember it must think, what the hell are they going on about these games? But yeah, they were amazing occasions.
But think about that, put that into perspective. This last season, we talk about the 4,000 we took to Peterborough, and what an amazing occasion that made that. So just think about that. 13 to 15,000 Pompey going to Liverpool on a Tuesday night is, awesome. Okay, where are we going to next, Tony?
We're heading completely the other way now to the Premier League, I believe.
Yes, so...
Because if we're featuring games against Liverpool, it's probably going to be in the Premier League, isn't it?
Yes. So we are heading to 2003. And let's roll the VT, shall we?
Yep. This was our first game against Liverpool, the first season in the Premier League. Patrick Berger there features quite heavily.
Oh,
It's Harry and Whelan
there's Harry, Milan, Story.
and Peter Story. Yeah. The Liverpool in white for some reason. Emil Heskey going through. Oh, bad luck.
Who was 3 there with the clearance?
Stefanovic, Dejan Stefanovic.
Yeah, that's a terrible clearance.
Almost slices it, doesn't he?
He almost scored.
Yeah.
Gerard Houllier, of course, their
Yeah.
manager, who was there for a few years when they had some health problems, I think.
He was, yeah. The cross comes in. There's Berger with a little slip, and it's in. That was quite early in the game, sort of 6-7 minutes, I think.
I think he enjoyed that against his former club.
Yeah, all that, and I'd like to see that. I hate it now. These players. Oh no, I won't celebrate. It's against my old side.
Yeah.
No, with it. Just celebrate. You've scored a goal.
Simple.
Yeah.
So
Of course, that's, as I said, quite early in the game, and we're thinking, oh, we'll never hold on to this. This is yeah, he gave a free kick for handball here. Some Zivkovic. And no, it hit me in the face. And when you see the replay, I think it does. You see it smacks him straight in the face.
it's nowhere near his hand.
Yeah, but Liverpool were struggling. They needed a bit of a helping hand, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. This is Shaka in goal, is it?
That's Shaka, yeah.
Oh, there he is, yeah.
Yes, there he is. Phil Thompson there. This, I think, is Berger has another chance here, left footer. He was all over the place this game, wasn't he?
Yeah. So we've seen Berger, Teddy Sheringham's up front. With who else would be up front?
Kuba,
Yeah. So
Steve Stone here on the ball.
getting hacked.
Oh, blimey, that was a bit late, wasn't it?
Oh, that's that.
Oh,
That's Dio.
it's old Diouf, isn't it? El Hadj Diouf.
That's the one who liked spitting in people's faces all.
Yeah. Oh my word!
He Bolton before he went to Liverpool.
Oh, and they're off the post.
Diouf. Yeah, and
He did go to Bolton.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good effort.
I'm not that
He's
good at
working
lip
out his
reading.
worth.
I'm not that good at lip reading, but I think Harry Redknapp might have just sworn a bit.
Well, this is Yakubu. Gee whiz, didn't he hit that? And I'm sure the crossbar at the Milton end is still stinging from that.
Russian linesman when you need one.
He did hit that, didn't he?
Oh,
Uh-oh. Oh, I think he should have done better there. This is Pongol. Omar Pongol. Because I remember that at the time, this was very late, last couple of minutes, and you're thinking, oh no, they're going to score. But no, there it is, 1-0.
1-0. Gerard Houllier very happy.
And the big thing about that, it was our first season of the Premier League, and that was our first big win. I know we beat Villa on the first day, but this was a big side that we'd actually beaten, and that was the first one.
Yeah, and
later in the season we beat Manchester United, but
you're in the top flight, and you're wondering if all these teams are just going to beat you, and you're going to go down, and so yeah, big game, big result.
I think that sort of gave us the confidence that perhaps we could survive in this. We did just about.
Yeah. So that was the 2003 game. Let's look at a Pompey card for that, and we have Patrick Berger.
Yeah, he was a class act, wasn't he? I mean, we covered him in the Euros episode a few weeks back.
And
you don't get many players. You don't get many players who scored in a Euros final come to Pompey, do you?
No. And of course, we've looked at before. He scored that absolute worldie, didn't he, for us against Charlton?
Charlton, yeah.
where the ball came to him back to goal. He flipped it up and walloped it, and it was
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah, great player. 42 internationals. That jumps out on that card, doesn't it?
Yeah, and for a side that were very good, when he played for the Czech Republic at the time, they were a very good side, as obviously shown by the fact they reached the Euros final.
Yeah.
Um,
Given Berger an 82.
yeah, that's not a bad mark, is it? You'd probably say he did well for Pompey. He was a good player, but his best times were elsewhere, weren't they?
Yeah.
But he was, and the thing that always surprises me is that 8 goals for Pompey. I mean, you would have thought it was more than that, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's Patrick Berger. Okay, so moving on now, we go to probably another absolutely iconic moment in the history of Pompey, and we're going to 1992. And I'll start the video, and then we'll talk our way through the occasion and what it meant.
Yeah, it's hard to believe this is 32 years ago because I can remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, for me, I've got much clearer memories of this. Obviously, the other Liverpool game we talked about, I was 10, and it was all
Yeah,
a bit of a blur. It's like, what the hell's this all about? But this one, 1992, Pompey have made it to the FA Cup semi-final, courtesy of a quarter-final win over Forest.
yep.
And this is at Highbury, neutral ground.
Well, that's a good point because this is what I call the last of the old style semi-finals almost. Because I'm pretty sure from after this they started to play them at Wembley.
Yeah, was that influenced by the Hillsborough thing?
Maybe what 3 before this? Oh, there's Mark Chamberlain getting flattened.
Because when you go to different grounds, obviously Hillsborough, Villa Park, Highbury, some of the common grounds that were used, and yeah, maybe it's a safer bet having these big games
Yeah,
in a ground
but,
like Wembley.
but this was just another great occasion. Just a neutral ground was just something different.
So that was Macca, Alan
Yep.
McLaughlin there. What Grobbelaar was doing, I don't know.
He was doing typical Bruce Grobbelaar things, wasn't he? He's completely in the wrong position and then comes round and makes a brilliant save. That's Grobbelaar all over, isn't it?
So with this day, I mean, Liverpool were not. I mean, Liverpool are a brilliant side. You know, John Barnes, Ian Rush, the likes of those. But um, Pompey were a different outfit then. We were doing well in the second tier.
Second division. It was still the second division, wasn't it then?
It wasn't called the Championship then, was it? But still,
No.
you thought we were up against it this day.
Yeah.
But we really did acquit ourselves well, didn't we? There's one off the line.
As you can see from these highlights, we had a lot of chances.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was. Yeah, we probably should have won this game this day. Is Anderton again with a volley?
Oh, close.
Just one.
When we come to the goal, we'll go with the match commentary
Yeah,
for some.
yeah.
Uh, yeah.
This is the goal coming up.
Warren Neal. Oh, that's a good looking ball. It's Anderton. A real chance for Pompey. Darren Anderton. It's there. Portsmouth are in the lead in the semi-final.
So we talk about, people talk about limbs at the football, or limbs at a game. Here, this is 20 seconds after the goal, and everyone in the Pompey end is still going absolutely mental. I don't think I've ever seen a Pompey goal reacted to quite like this one.
No, I'm not sure you ever will. This was. I mean, we all thought we'd never see Pompey play at Wembley, and this was a big chance, and we got so close. Of course, a few years later it changed it, but we did get there. But it was everybody's dream was to get to Wembley, get to the FA Cup final, and looked like we were going to do it.
Yeah, like I say, the reaction to the the goal, and then it goes back to the fans like 20 seconds later, and everyone's still just going bonkers. And we were close. How close were we to winning this? How many minutes?
3 minutes and 50 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they hadn't really threatened a lot, had they, in that game? We had the better
I
chance.
think Rush had one that hit the bar, which hasn't been shown on here. Oh, Andy Orford, what are you doing?
Yeah. And it's just so bloody lucky. It's so lucky, this goal.
We're all stood there thinking, oh, Barnes is going to curl this in the corner. And then he doesn't, but...
Yeah, we were thinking Barnes, not Ronnie bloody Whelan.
Who shouldn't have been on the pitch because he'd flattened Mark Chamberlain.
Well, yeah, that was right at the start. It was an awful tackle.
Yeah. And, oh, dear.
And it goes to show Liverpool, one of the biggest teams in the country, the way they're celebrating this, because they knew they were on toast that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... the thing is, it's 32 years ago, and it still hurts when I think about this game. It still hurts.
Yeah.
Not many games that have that effect on you, but this one certainly did.
Spawny goal.
Oh.
So
Then we go to the replay.
We're on to the replay at Villa Park. Wonder why they.
And my thinking was that we'd had our chance in the first game, and probably would get beat in this game. But
Why did they change to Villa Park? Because it's easier.
No idea, to be honest.
Easier for them to do for a replay.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know why it was changed. Can't remember, to be honest. I know there was a general election around that time, or there was going to be a general election. That's why I think this was on a Monday night.
Oh yeah, because in the Highbury game there was a big Vote Pompey banner.
Yeah.
And this pitch was a disgrace as well.
Yeah.
But
here again is us coming so close to winning it. Ball comes across. I think Beresford pulls it back,
and that was late.
And Macca up the bar. Yeah, you look at the quality of the pitch. I mean, you'd never see a pitch like that in the Premier League now, would you?
No. So we had a good side, didn't we? So Whittingham's on now.
Yeah.
Darren Anderton, Beresford, Simons and Orford, Martin Cool.
Yep.
Chamberlain obviously got cropped.
Ray Daniel played in this game as well. Yeah, it's extra time, all gone through, and it's now penalties. And you can see here Jim Smith's going round and sort of saying, we had no preparation for this at all, did we?
Well, it was a new thing back then, penalties, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that first?
But we're all right. We're all right. We'll send our penalty taker up to take the first one, Martin Cool. So that'll be all right. That'll be a good start.
Was this Pompey's first ever penalty shootout, I wonder?
I think it probably was, wasn't it? I think once he put that one wide, yeah, we're up against it, weren't we?
Yeah.
It's not like Liverpool got any experienced players to take penalties. We just got John Barnes on the first one.
It was a woeful shootout from us, but we knew at the time. We probably haven't practiced it or anything, have we?
No. That's how you take it. Yeah. But we did get one. Hit Simons. Always trust a centre half to take penalties.
Oh God! These days, when the centre half steps up, it's like Gareth Southgate in the Euros, wasn't it? It's like, oh God.
And who's next? Oh, it's only Ian Rush, the next one.
A bit fortunate, wasn't he? He didn't look confident that was going in. Ian Rush.
Who have we got against Ian Rush? Oh, we've got Warren Neal.
Yeah.
It was a good fullback.
Is this over yet?
Oh, 90, you've got to save this one. It's only Dean Saunders. Then we get the next one is this player's last kick of a ball for Pompey, John Beresford.
Yeah, he left for Newcastle, didn't he? After we.
Yeah, this was his last game, so that was his last kick of the ball.
Yeah. So a loss, but
And I'm not sure, were you on the coach that night? I can't remember if you were or not. I just remember.
I was for the replay, not for the.
Yeah, I just remember a very quiet, subdued trip home because yeah, we were all still hoping that we'd get there, but we weren't there, and that was it. And it was a very quiet trip home. I remember.
Yeah. It's still an amazing memory though, because at the time Pompey just were not involved in those sort of occasions, were they? It was a massive game for us, so I'll never forget it.
Yeah, and as you say, like the 1980 game we were on just now, people still talk about these two games 32 years ago, so it's there, it's imprinted in your memory.
Yeah.
It just hurts.
Yeah. So amazing memories. Let's round this video off with the Pompey card then. I think quite a few of us have probably got this picture hanging up somewhere. This picture of Darren Anderton. So Darren Anderton, I've given him a very generous, I think, 87 as a Pompey power.
Oh, that's a good mark, isn't it? 87. But I mean, he was a great player for us, wasn't he?
So,
what, 2 years we had him before he moved on?
That's the same rating as we gave Linvoy in the Legends mural video.
Yeah.
I think we put him at that level. That goal was iconic. That at that time he was awesome for Pompey, and of course then went on to sign for Spurs for 1.75 million, something.
75 million, yeah.
And that money meant a lot to Pompey. So it's it's an additional impact he's had on Pompey, isn't it? What we could then go on.
Obviously went on to play for England, 30 international caps, including playing in Euro 96.
Surprised me, 30. Didn't have thought he was that high in caps, but yeah.
Oh, I played in Euro 96 and in the 98 World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a very, very good player. Had this rather unfair thought of being a bit of a sick note, didn't he, about getting injured all the time? But
I thought you were going to say he was a scummer, but there you go.
well, no, he came from there, but he saw the light and got out.
Yeah.
Saw the light and got out in time.
Great.
And that cup run was the making of him, really, wasn't it? Because we had the Middlesbrough game that we featured a while ago.
Yeah. What a performance he had that night. That was like 2 goals, 2 assists for him, wasn't it, that night?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And one of the earlier rounds we beat Leyton Orient. He scored both the goals. And then, of course, the one against Liverpool. So, yes, good old Shaggy.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like that cup run's just accounted for about half the goals he ever scored for Pompey. Looking at that cup.
Doesn't it? Are you sure that's right? 13 goals.
We'll check that one.
Yes.
I think that's right. Okay, Tony.
All right. Good memories, anyway.
Yeah, a couple of absolute corkers in there, defeats as though they were, but yeah, great memories. So we threw in a Premier League win as well to balance it up a bit.
Indeed, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Thanks.
What we'd have given for winning the 1992 game, though, but
yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you, Tony. Some great memories, and
yes, enjoyed it.
We'll see you on the next one.
Okay, cheers then.